Hey there everyone, this is Jeff Perkins with JD Cutlery, putting together another quick video on a barrage of little zero tolerance knives that I've just finished up. We are pushing hard, trying to get as much done before Thanksgiving as we can so we get that Christmas rush taken care of. I will say that we should be the #1 source of anodized knives as far as number of anodized knives in stock. Definitely by the Thanksgiving mark, should have over 100 knives posted up on the website and ready to go. So, hope you guys like what we're putting together here, and let's go ahead and take a look at these one at a time. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and start off with this nice little ZT0900. This one was done for a customer, so this was a special order. Let's see, let's adjust the lights here a little bit, getting a little washed out. So this one is a nice green that's been stonewashed bronze. Let me adjust some more. So we got a nice green and stonewashed bronze. All of the hardware has been acid stonewashed as well as the blade. And look at that wicked edge down there. You got that nice, pretty much mirror finish on the edge. Of course, if you get super close, you will see some little tiny micro lines in it, but that's pretty much as close to a mirror polish as you're gonna find. So, incredibly sharp. This little guy is about an hour's worth of work on the wicked edge sharpening system to give you that nice, super sharp mirror polished edge. This one is done at 21.5 degree angle. I don't tend to go a whole lot higher, or actually lower than that. That just because the finer the edge you put on it, so if I go to say something drastic, 17, 18 degrees, you would get a really large mirrored area, but the point of that tip would be so incredibly fine that as you use it, it's going to dull fast. And I mean, these are user knives, so we don't want to get these things taken care of and then have to send it in for sharpening constantly. So I tend to go with just a little bit more angle to it and really give a good sharp edge that's going to last. Again, there's that acid wash on the hardware, green with the bronze stone wash. These little guys are one of my favorites of the ZT line. If I'm going to carry a small knife, ZT900 is the way to go. Good thing for you guys out there, if you don't own a ZT900, they just took the MAP pricing off of it, so the price has dropped in a number of places. Bad news is, you won't see me anodizing many more of these, because with that price drop, all the work that I put into these knives, it's not profitable to continue doing them. So this will probably be one of the last 900s that you see me doing, unless it's a personal knife or somebody contacts me specifically and agrees to what we're looking at. So, really nice little knife. Like I said, this one was done up for a customer. Flips like a champ, just like all these little 900s do. Lockup on that, let's see, is probably about 30 to 40%. And she's pretty nicely centered. Looking in there, got your black barrel spacer. I don't put a lanyard on these because there's no lanyard hole. There for a little while I was dropping a lanyard through on that barrel spacer, but every once in a while as you go to open it, it'll catch the tip of that blade and then it won't open. So really cool little knife. Sorry, I got some fingerprints, but as you see, this really isn't a very fingerprint prone knife. Good, rugged looking little knife, little tank. So very pleased with the way this one turned out, and this one will be going into the mail today. So let's go ahead and jump into a couple of the, we've got 2 of the 456s here. Sinkovich design. I went with kind of a dark color. It is a almost brown purple. So the purple doesn't show up a whole lot in the video here. Kind of a muted, I left the bead blast on there, did my acid wash, and it gave it a nice dark color. So if somebody's looking for something that's not gray but isn't crazy colored, this is a pretty nice option. Got a nice bronzy purple to it. Lockup on it is nice and early, about 20%. And centering looks real good. And of course all these Sinkoviches, I haven't had any problem with any of these Sinkoviches with detent being too bad or anything like that. I do like the flipper he's got here. He's got a nice flat area for your finger to get the purchase on. So even if it was a stronger detent, it wouldn't be quite as bad on your finger as some of these more pointy flippers. So that is definitely one of the nicer things I like. It does have some jimping, so it gives you some nice purchase. And of course you got all the standard blue hardware from Zero Tolerance. So a very cool looking little knife. This one is kind of a purple blue. The video is not going to show a whole lot of the purple. It's kind of a purpley blue color. Again, has that bead blast. I didn't buff this one out or anything. I was just going for some nice color, but not super shiny bright. So that one turned out pretty nice as well. Again, nice early lockup, probably about 30 to 40%. And we're centered in there pretty nicely. I don't tend to look at the top of the blade. I try to look at the tip on that backspacer, because if I angle it, that kind of thing, it makes it look less centered. So I try to go with that tip when I'm taking a look at how how centered the blade is. So very solid, medium-sized knife. Fills up the hand just enough, comes right to the edge of my hand. So good feeling knife, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and jump into one of the beautiful classics, ZT0562CF. CF, of course, is the carbon fiber. This one I did in a nice bright high voltage blue. It's a high voltage blue that's just on the edge of that teal, so it's a little below teal, so a high end of the high voltage blue gives you a nice bright color. Buffed all the screws and pivot on the titanium side. Satin finished the pocket clip. On the carbon fiber side, I only buffed out the pivot. I left the other screws black. This one again doesn't get a lanyard because it doesn't have a lanyard hole. Centering on this is right about 20%. Real nice color on this one. The lines you see there are just a little bit of oil, because of course I put oil in the pivots and bearings and all that type of stuff when we work on them. But real happy with the color on this one. This is a nice eye popper. Flips like a champ. Centered really nicely. Sometimes these can be a bit tricky to center, but this one centered up beautifully. Real nice flipper. Action on these things, nice and smooth. That's that Hinder collaboration. Wow, look at the serial number on that sucker. We are getting up there in the number of these that they've produced, the CPM 20CV. So, very cool little knife. That one will be posted in the next couple days. Actually, most of these will be posted in the next couple days. And here is one I was really excited to hear that Zero Tolerance was going to do a limited run on the 303 line. So these things are the granddaddy, or I guess the big daddy. You've got the 300, the 303. These are the big ones compared to the 350. You get the G10 handle as well as the titanium. And anybody that knows this knife knows that this sucker comes in black coated, and it's a nightmare to get that black off. So I've got to do a lot of work to get the black off. We wire wheel, grind it all off, and it gives you, because you're using that wire wheel, it puts just a tiny bit of steel on the top of the titanium, and it gives you a really cool variation in the different colors. Now this one is a real eye-popping purple. It's got brights and darks, and it's really nice looking. It's pretty much an iridescent purple. As you move this thing around, really beautiful. Check out the pictures on the website. They will do this better justice in the video. Just a really cool knife. I love that stripe blade. Actually centered up pretty nicely, which some of these don't center up so well. And that does have the assisted opening blade. So, very nice. Of course, it's got your steel lock bar insert. And you're right about 30 to 40% on the lockup. Again, was really excited that they brought some of these back. I'm going to try and pick up more if I can get my hands on them. I got 2 of them right now. My guess is they'll go pretty quickly. I have not seen another person actually anodize one of these knives. There are a couple of people out there that are doing some laser treatments, putting flags on them and that kind of thing. But as far as actually removing the black coating and anodizing, I haven't seen anybody else do it. So, and there's a reason for that. There's a lot of work that goes on to get that effect. This one is just a crazy green iridescent. It's got greens, tiny bits of teal, a slight, I guess you'd call shading of purple. I mean, this thing is just one crazy iridescent looking beast. Really happy with the way this one turned out. Again, I'm hoping to get my hands on a few more of these. They are a lot of work, but they just look so cool once you get them all finished. Oops, looks like I gotta finish putting a screw in. So I'll have to tighten that screw up a little bit, of course. It was a very late night. I was hoping to get this video done last night, but I was still sharpening and putting knives together at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes I've got to go back and double check them, and of course I'll get that one tightened up, not a problem. Centering on this one is pretty nice as well. Looking down at your tip on the back spacer. And again, you've got that crazy assisted opening. Takes quite a spring to get that big old blade moving. So, really nice knife. This is one of the earlier Zero Tolerance knives, one of the first ones that they did with titanium. This one, the 560, were I think the very first 2. There is one other model. It's one I never really liked, so I never anodized it. You can take a guess as to what model that is. I can't even remember the number because I didn't like the way it opened. But that was personal preference. That's kind of how it goes. Well, thank you for checking out this latest Zero Tolerance video. I'm very excited about a number of knives that are coming very soon. I've got a number of one-offs that are sitting here. I've got a Spyderco Delica that I've done file work on, and it has a Damascus blade. I've got one of the new safe knives from Bastianini. I've got some sigils that I'll be taking apart and working on. I have a number of new different models that'll be popping out. And of course, I know this isn't really a Riot video, but the new Starboys and the Mini HD, or Mini Horizon Ds should be in next week. So really excited to get those. Going to be able to do a lot of nice work on them, and of course the quality is crazy on them. Thank you again for tuning in. These will be posted in the next couple days on our website at www.jdcutlery.com. Have a nice day.